Hey guys, this video is for our 2nd through 4th grade team for April week 2. And April, our theme is road trip, and our life app is patience, waiting until later for what you want now. So last week we talked about the Easter story and Jesus is alive. This week our story is from the book of 1st Samuel, and it's about Hannah praying for her baby, and our bottom line is when you think you can't wait, talk to God about it. Our memory verse for the month is wait for the Lord. Be strong, don't lose hope. Wait for the Lord, Psalm 27:14. So jumping into this week, just make sure when you get here at 8:30 and 10:30, take a few minutes to pray for your kids. Pray that your kids can practice patience this month. I loved it last week. I saw the 2nd through 4th grade team get together before service started and huddle up and pray, and I just thought that was so awesome. So patience is definitely something we all need help with, so just pray for your kids and for yourselves to practice patience. Then when kids start to come at 8:40 and 10:40, as they join your circle, ask about their week. Make sure you know their names. Make sure any first-time guests feel welcomed. And then a couple icebreaker questions. You can ask kids about something they're looking forward to. Do they have a vacation coming up? Are they excited for summer? Is it their birthday soon? And ask them how they're doing waiting for whatever they're excited about. Then your interactivity, what you're going to do, it says scissors and markers. So I kind of think that it would be easier if I were leading a small group. I would modify this a little bit. And you're going to tell kids about Polaroid pictures and that they're just these little like square pictures that just take a little snapshot of something. And then you're going to give each kid a piece of cardstock, and instead of having them cut it apart and make 6 little individual things that are just going to be all over your area, I thought just give them a piece of cardstock and let them draw a line in the middle and then 2 lines down the side and say, okay, these are like your 6 Polaroid pictures, okay? So instead of cutting it apart, just draw with a marker. And then tell kids to pretend they went on a road trip. It could be to anywhere they want. And have them draw pictures in their squares, like Polaroid pictures they took along their way while they're on their pretend road trip. So, and then if you have time, they can share with their friends. So maybe they stopped at the gas station, and then they went here, and just whatever their road trip is, or they could draw Polaroids of a vacation that they took, whatever it might be. So then before you go to large group to close that down, you're just going to say, wow, guys, those were some amazing trips. You guys are giving me the travel bug. So having a fun trip coming up can be fun to look forward to, but can also be really hard to wait for. Well, today in large group, we're going to talk about someone who was waiting for something for a very long time. So when you get to large group, have your kids sit with you in a circle, help them to worship and listen. Remember, especially boys groups, just encourage your group, guys, you don't have to dance if you don't want to, but at least sing the words because we're worshiping Jesus. Kind of talk to them about that before you go into the large group area. When you get back from large group, you're going to do a little review jumble. So we've been doing a lot of origami this month. So again, you're just going to make a basic little fortune teller. So if you've ever made fortune tellers before, it's no different than normal. You'll have this instruction page that shows you how, and I also took pictures going along as I made this one, but it's just your basic little thing. What I would do is instead of giving all your kids an instruction page, you can do that, I would just have them do it all with you. So I would go one step at a time and have them do it with you, so that way you can try to get that done faster. So then what you're going to do is you will have them use the cootie catchers with each other, and there's nothing written on the outside squares, so you'll just say their name. So if it was Katie, they would go K-A-T-I-E. Oh, sorry, I can't do this very good. Okay, pick a number. Oh, I picked the number 5. Okay, so on my review question sheet, I'm going to ask you question 5. Why did the woman and her husband go to God's house? And then see if they can answer that question. And then if they can't answer it, you say, oh, okay, well, it was to worship him. All right, my turn. So then the next kid goes, and they pick another question. Now, there's only 8 numbers inside their little cootie catcher. So after they've asked all 8 questions, then they can go to questions 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and just kind of ask those instead. So it's just a little review game. You could play it all together as a group, and you could go around to each kid as they sit in a circle. You could have kids ask each other. If you want a little more control over your group, I would have them all sit in a circle, and I would have you go to each person and do this. So then you'll close that by saying, so guys, the story today was about a woman who wanted a baby of her very own. And you guys aren't old enough to be a mom or a dad, but I bet there's something that you're waiting for. So maybe it's a spring break, or your birthday, or a summer trip, or a big game, or a performance, or a recital, or a dance competition. We all have things we're looking forward to, and the important thing is to be patient as we wait for whatever it is we're looking forward to and believe that God's timing is perfect. So maybe make it personal. Tell kids about a time when you were waiting for something and you feel like it really should have happened. And were you able to wait patiently, or did you grow impatient? And then just say, so guys, one of the best things we can do while we're trying to be patient is to pray. We can tell God what we're waiting for and why we're so excited, and we can even tell him about how hard it is to wait. The important thing is that when you think you can't wait, just talk to God about it, just like Hannah did in the story. So then for the memory verse review, you're going to have hand sanitizer on your cart. Let kids put a little hand sanitizer on and dry their hands really good. And then say the verse together as a group to review it, but then have kids say it again, but hold their tongues this time while they say it. And if time and interest allow, see if any kids want to say it individually while they're holding their tongue. And then you're just going to say, guys, our verse this month tells us to wait for the Lord by being strong and not losing hope. And sometimes that's way easier said than done. So what are some ways that you can be strong and hopeful while you're waiting? So yeah, one of the best ways to be strong and hopeful is just to pray. Because when you think you can't wait, just talk to God about it. All right. Then you have some optional small group questions if you want to sit and just chat with your group. Maybe guys groups. Maybe you say, okay, I'm going to throw the ball to Joe. All right, Joe, tell the group about a time when you had to wait a long time for something. All right, now Joe, you throw the ball to somebody else. Okay, Ted, what are the signs that you're going to lose your patience? All right, now you throw the ball to somebody else. So that way, guys, if you're using the ball or you're playing a game, make it still something that is useful, that's still teaching them about the Bible. And I get that at the end of the service, there's maybe a certain time to just play. But while you're trying to do this, really, we want to utilize the time that we have on Sunday mornings, which is not a lot, 40 hours at the most in a year normally. So we really want to use that time wisely. So maybe sit in a circle and throw the ball to your kids and ask them those questions. Then just when you close in prayer, ask kids about a time when they've had a hard time being patient. So maybe when they're sitting in traffic, when their family's running late, when they're waiting for their turn on something, maybe when they're waiting for mom to finish dinner, or waiting for their food to come when they're at a restaurant. And then tell kids that sometimes talking to God either quietly or by praying out loud can help us when we're patient. And then just close your kids in prayer using this prayer below. And when adults arrive today, see if kids can say the bottom line while they're holding their tongues. So see if they can say that together. So that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for leading and serving. I'm so grateful for all of you as small group leaders. I know each week that it's not easy, and I know Easter weekend was crazy, but it was so great. We had so many kids, and I just think you all are just amazing. So thank you for serving, and I will see you on Sunday.